Coming up in today's food adventure, I'm in one of China's most popular tourist destinations, but I'm determined to not just experience it on a surface level. Today, I'm going deeper, finding the most authentic experiences and learning more about the history of the incredible people that call this place home. So grab snacks, get comfy, and as always, don't forget to subscribe. Hello, and welcome to another Chinese food adventure. And where I'm standing right now is what many people actually call China's most beautiful town, but I'm gonna let you be the judge. Welcome to Lijiang. So in case you're tuning in for the first time, I'm currently documenting my journey in Yunnan province as I travel along the very popular travel route that stretches from Kunming to Dali to Lijiang all the way up into Shangri-La. And today I'm spending the day in Lijiang, which is an extremely popular place for people to come and visit because it is so beautiful. So for that reason, I've gotten up really early to have a slice of what this town looks like before all the tourists arrive. And it is absolutely gorgeous. The architecture, the waterways, the Jade Dragon Snow Mountain in the background. But apart from being gorgeous, it also has a really interesting cultural background. So here in Lijiang, it's actually the home of the Nasi people. And a trip to Lijiang is simply incomplete without learning about the history and culture of the Nasi people. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. But I thought instead of me introducing Nasi culture to you guys, the best thing I could possibly do is to invite someone who is actually of the Nasi ethnic minority to introduce the Nasi culture to us today in this video. And she suggested we meet at this very local morning market. Hello, 姐姐，早上好。Hello， 谢谢你过来。This is my new friend. We met last night, and it was we just hit it off right away. 你可以稍微介绍一下自己吗？
大家好，我是纳西族本地的，我是生活在玉龙雪山脚下，我叫何春仙，我在这个地方生活了有40年。我现在从事的是云南比较有特色的野生菌食品。欢迎大家来品尝。
Yeah, we're actually going to be going there for lunch and learning more about the truffles that she is making all these dishes from. So I'm really excited about that. 你可以稍微介绍一下你的服装吗？因为这个很特色，这是纳西族的服饰吗？
对，因为我们纳西族的话有专门的服饰，也有专门的语言。今天因为来见你，我觉得是一个比较隆重的环节。我穿了我们纳西族比较重要的服饰啊。最主要的是我们这个披肩，这个我坎肩上有7个月亮，又称之为披星戴月，因为我们纳西族要早出晚归干活，然后丽江这里的地理环境的原因，它早晚温差比较大。对于我们妇女要劳作的时候，它可以对我们的肩部起到一个保暖的作用。然后呢，它也是一个青蛙的形状。
为什么是青蛙的形状呢？
因为我们纳西族最早的时候是游牧民族，我们人口比较少。然后呢，青蛙代表的是多子多福，它是我们那个纳西的一个图腾。
And when you walk around Lijiang, you'll see frogs everywhere. Sculptures, paintings, on tourist help signs.
青蛙特别能生。
As it stands today, the current population of Nasi people is around 400,000. 那我们吃点东西吧。
吃早点。
那我想问一下，纳西人一般会吃什么样的东西呢？
我们这边主要产那个鸡豆，我们纳西族会把鸡豆做成很多美食。那早上我们会拿这个鸡豆凉粉，它有稀的，然后蘸上馒头，它还有煎的，还有炸的，还有炒的各种。老板，稀豆粉给我好漏，有2个颜色。这个是黑的，那个是黄的，
都是一个味道吗？
豆子不一样。
So while the darker one is made from chickpeas, the yellow one is made from just normal peas. And today we're going to be trying them both.
老板要给你放调料，有各种的，有辣椒啊、花椒啊，他会放各种的调料在里面。然后我们再去买一个粑粑，然后蘸着稀豆粉吃。
粑粑是什么？
粑粑就叫馒头，馒头就叫粑粑。
我去年在大理吃了一个西周粑粑，这个粑粑和那个西周粑粑有没有相同的地方？
相同一点，都是烙的，也是面粉，但是唯一不一样的是，我们纳西族吃的比较简单，它里面是没有任何的馅的。我让大姐重新再给你从这里拿，它类似于披萨，我们这个也是发酵的，你看它真的是像披萨的，
是有点像。一般当地人会怎么用这个粑粑？
直接吃，就着西凉粉。最多的是就着一点辣椒，一杯茶。我们这边是喜欢喝茶的，因为茶马古道也在这里。
Okay, history time. Back in the day, Lijiang was a key hub on the ancient Tea Horse Road, which was basically an historic trade route that connected the tea-producing regions of Yunnan, Sichuan, and Tibet. This resulted in an influx of people and culture and religions meeting and mixing here in Lijiang. Anyway, back to our baba. It's been flattened out, and she's about to pop it on the grill with some oil until it's nice and golden on the outside. 纳西话怎么说谢谢？
有本事，
有本事。 over here we also have some spices we can add and have with our baba as well. So we're just gonna add. 这个是辣椒吗？
对，这是青辣椒。
纳西族的美食的特点是什么？是辣的还是鲜的还是？
相对来说要咸一点点，因为这毕竟是高原，它要干火，然后它的盐是要多一点。
To be precise, Lijiang sits at an altitude of 2,400 meters, and while I didn't suffer any altitude sickness here, I definitely could feel myself puffing a whole lot more walking up the stairs today. Ready for breakfast. So we've got our chickpea porridge here. First step is getting in there and just mixing it all together.
OK， 可以了，我们两人一人一半。
哦，哇！
然后我们一般就会这样蘸着它吃。
好好吃。
感觉怎么样？还是有一点点辣的啊。
一点点。It's basically like a salty, slightly spicy, very flavorful porridge almost. What I really like is that it's quite viscous, so it really coats that bread amazingly well. Like you just dip it in and you've got this amazing coating on your bread. The flavor is amazing. I don't know how much flavor you actually get from the chickpea porridge itself, but from the flavors and all of the spices, you get so much flavor.
你再蘸一下这个黄的，上差距不大，只是颜色而已。
差不多。哦，我也感觉它有一点花椒在里面。
对，有的花椒、辣椒都有。
麻辣 breakfast porridge, really. I have to say, this bread is absolutely incredible. It is so soft and fluffy. But we haven't quite finished yet. We have some chili. 我直接吃辣椒。
对，直接吃，就这样。我跟你讲
It's good. Let's try.
不辣，这个一点都不辣，清香。
I really like that because the bread is still warm and soft and fluffy, but then the chili, it's cold and crispy and very fragrant. It tastes more like capsicum. It's not spicy at all, really. As we were chatting through breakfast, I learned something really interesting about Nasi culture.
我们有纳西族有自己的文字，还有东巴文。然后我们那个东巴呢是纳西族里面知识文化最高的人。
I actually had the opportunity to sit down with a Dongba to learn more about these ancient Dongba characters that are still in use here in Lijiang.
我们这个东巴是世袭，一代一代传下来的。到我这一代呢，是已经有30多代了。东巴文字这个其实它不像那个我们的纳西拼音或者是一个文字一样，它用的人比较少。而为什么会叫东巴文字呢？因为只有东巴在用这个文字。那它用在什么场合呢？一般我们东巴文字是最早最多用的最多的就是东巴经书，就是这样的一个经书。东巴经书是由我们象形文字写在东巴纸上，记载了纳西族的天文、定理、医学、药材等等。这个是男的就干这个房子，而女的就是做饭。还有那个生儿育女的意思。
As you can see, the characters are pictographic in nature and they'll actually hint to what the character itself means. And when I was having a wander around Lijiang Old Town later that day, I came across this store selling this Dongba script dictionary. So it's got the Dongba Wenzi inside as well as what they mean. And the funniest thing is a lot of these characters, I don't need a dictionary to figure out what they actually mean. Loving this character. The dancing character. I feel like at the same time, this is a lot harder, but a lot easier to learn than Chinese characters because on one side, it's easier because you see it and you know what it's about, it's easier to read. But if you actually wanted to replicate this and actually write anything, it would take you so long. I mean, there are so many strokes, it's a lot more complicated, and there are a lot of characters to know.
单字的话有1700多个字，所以基本上组合式教起的话，基本上我们纳西族的能表达的这些语言都可以表达出来。
But the reason we know so much about Nasi culture and history isn't just thanks to these characters, but the paper they're written on.
这个纸的话叫做东巴纸，这个纸的话就列入了国家级的非物质文化遗产。那它为什么呢？第一，它的原材料是用一种那个苕花。还有构树，特别是最好的材料是苕花，厨子不敢吃，所以防除防蛀，1000年不腐。所以这样的一张纸，它可以保存1000年。而我们东巴文化能保留到现在，主要的是靠的是这个纸。
But our food adventure with He Jie is not over. As she mentioned earlier, she owns a restaurant selling dishes containing all kinds of local mushrooms. And for lunch today, we're going to be getting into one of the main exports of the region. Of course, I'm talking about truffles. Yunnan produces a whopping 300 tons of truffles each year, which is about 10 times more than France's annual production. And I feel like on my channel recently, there has been a lot of truffle content. I mean, just a few weeks ago, I was in France eating a truffle banquet, a very expensive truffle banquet. I mean, typically typically outside of China, truffles are something that are very, very expensive or associated with being expensive. But here in China, that has traditionally not been the case.
刚开始的时候，我们这里的人是不太认识它的，就是也没有人吃，他觉得口感不是特别好，可能我们更喜欢吃这些鸡枞啊、牛肝菌啊，但这个松露的口感的话是不太好。然后我们就不吃它，这价格也是以前的话是很便宜，几百块钱1公斤。现在的话就是可能价格高一点的时候，也就1000多1公斤。
It's just so interesting because for locals, in many cases, this is just another mushroom, another produce to use and to fill bellies with. And my jaw was on the floor hearing about how they traditionally like to eat truffles here in Yunnan.
在我们云南最奢侈的是给它跟红烧肉一起烧着吃，因为它身价便宜。像在国外，它可能一片就几百美金。对。但是我们在云南的话，就给它跟那个猪的那个五花肉，就像烧土豆一样烧一锅这样吃，然后也会给它拿来烤着吃。在那个火上烤着吃，像烤土豆一样吃。但是呢，我们作为专业的野生菌餐厅，我们现在也是不断的学习。
And today she's prepared a truffle banquet for me and some of her friends. Don't worry, it's not just me eating all of this food. And every dish features the local black truffles in some way. We've got truffle steamed eggs, truffle stir-fried eggs, truffle sausage, cold mixed truffle and yak meat, truffle clay pot rice, truffle dumplings, and even truffle gocha mi xian, crossing bridge rice noodles.
It's almost just like, what can we do with truffle? Like, let's just put it in everything.
还有一个松露灌汤包。
Oh my gosh. Look at the sauce coming out. You've just got all of that truffle juice, which I'm going to slurp up. I'm not going to waste a bit of this truffle. Oh, wow.
It's delicious, soft, umami perfection, and the umami just kept coming and coming and coming. This is by far the most truffle I've ever ingested in one sitting.
I just still can't get over how much truffle is on top of this. You almost have to like pull the truffle to the side to see the meat underneath.
One of my favorite dishes on the table here was this truffle guoqiao mi xian, which I thought was a really fun take on the original that you'll find a lot in Kunming.
So first ingredient to go in was our truffles. And basically how a guoqiao mi xian works is you have all these little plates of ingredients that all go into this boiling pot of soup, and then finally you add the mi xian. There is so much truffle in this that it actually looks like that black fungus that you sometimes see, like those mushrooms. Well, I guess it is a mushroom, but it's truffle. The truffle taste itself is pretty subtle. Like, it doesn't super permeate the bowl. There is a slight mushroominess about this guoqiao mi xian. Definitely, when you put the truffle in your mouth and you just eat it, you're getting that truffle hit.
Although perhaps slightly less intense in flavor to the truffles I tried in France earlier this year, but still very, very tasty. If you find yourself in Lijiang and you want to come visit He Jiejie at her restaurant here, you can say my name for a discount on her truffle banquet menu, which is inspired by the dishes in this video.
This afternoon I've returned to Lijiang Old Town. I was filming in this very square this morning, but just a major difference is there's a lot more people here now, and you've got a lot of the stores that are now open. They're either selling like a local handicraft, a local snack, or it's a dress-up shop. A lot of people like to come here, dress in the local costume and take photos. And of course, it's not a real old town here in China without a good old street food night market. So this is Zhongyi Yeshi. And 6 p.m. every night, all of these stands come out. It's very lively, a lot of people here, a lot of specialties from both around China, also around Yunnan. I think my strategy at this market, because it is more on the touristy side, is just going for things that just really amuse me. I mean, this is a chicken wing filled with glutinous rice, something I've never tried. It's definitely not bad. On the inside, we've got the glutinous rice held together by the chicken skin on the outside, which is delicious, by the way. It's basically chickeny glutinous rice.
By the time I finished this snack, I found myself in a less visited corner of this market where I spied a door, and I thought I'd go check out what's inside, and wow, this is the vibe.
Got a little like food hall here.
And so many local food stalls. There was a lady here frying some chickpea cake, the jidoufen, the solidified version of what we ate this morning. Also, it's never a bad sign when you see locals eating the food. When it finished grilling, she added some sliced radish and spring onion, and then started adding the flavor: Sichuan peppercorn, salt, MSG, chili flakes, as well as vinegar and soy sauce. And here's the finished product. Wow, it looks so good.
Honestly, this is the coolest. In the middle of this really touristy area, I've stumbled across this really local vibe. I'm eating alongside locals. I'm having a local nasi snack, this jidoufen, that's been grilled over like literal coals. She was like blowing into it with the straw. And there are so many sauces that go on top of this, and it smells so incredible, oh my goodness. So I've got 2 varieties of the chickpea jelly in here. One variety is this skin, which is a lot thinner. And then I have the very soft jelly underneath here. So I'll try that first. Oh, that's so good. This flavor combination is right up my alley. It's a mixture of like sour, salty, spicy, and also mouth-numbing. You can really taste that peppercorn in there as well. And combined with those textures, the two different textures, this one is a little bit more on the chewy side, has a bit more resistance. And this is so soft and jelly, like this piece of chickpea jelly. Slightly crunchy and crispy on the outside and really soaks up all that sauce at the bottom. It's so good. Another thing that really adds to the dish is this really beautiful crunchy and refreshing texture from the luobosi, the little like radish strands on top. So you've got really all the textures in here, all the flavors. Oh, this is so up my alley. I have emerged from that incredible food hall. Man, I wish there was more things open that I could try there because it was a really cool experience. But I am back now to the more touristy side of this market, and I think I have room for one more thing. And I'm thinking, I mean, this is an option, these little mushroom soups that I'm seeing that looks like just like nice one-person serves of the mushroom hot pot essentially. This is also an option. It's like tofu stuffed with, I think that's mushrooms or something, and then it goes into this salty broth and gets cooked. That's also an option. Or I could have some yak shao kao. So what she's currently threading on her stick there is actually yak, and it's 5 yuan for one skewer.
要几串？
一串，
一串。
一串，
OK， 你是哪个国家的？
澳大利亚。
澳大利亚的。我再送你一串。
哦，谢谢了，谢谢老板。
澳大利亚，哦，你中国话说这么好。Welcome to 丽江 ，Welcome to Chinese。
Wait, what is this? There's so many people here.
好美丽的澳大利亚姑娘，你的肉串好了。Welcome to 丽江。
Let's try. Oh, yum. That is very tasty. It tastes beefy in the best way possible, like that amazing beef taste without being like, I don't know, gamey or anything like that. Spices are great. It's spicy. I mean, my lips are burning right now. Guys, that is not lipstick. I have not applied lipstick all day. My lips have been so confused recently because I went from Singapore for a week where it's very hot and humid, came back to Chongqing where it's very dry and cold. My lips were cracking like crazy. And now I'm in Yunnan eating all of this like kind of spicy food and my lips just don't know what to do with themselves. They've never been juicier and plumper. I woke up in the morning and it was like swollen and red, but it was like, hey, that looks cute. Beauty is pain, they say. I think that's going to be a nice full stop on our day here in Lijiang. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Lijiang is truly gorgeous, and learning about the local culture today has definitely allowed me to appreciate its beauty even more.
As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next week. Goodbye from Lijiang. Bye.